Hello. Thought I'd fill anyone who's watching in about some stuff that's been happening over the last few weeks. I've had my experience in coming out to one of my parents, I'd say successfully, but that would give me far too much credit for what was a really stupidly long and silly way of going about things. So anyway, I was going home for a couple of days. I can't remember why, but yeah, I was. So I went back to my parents' house, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell them about things. So the first day, wandered about, didn't say anything. I kept on meaning to, but I didn't because I'm a wimp. So then I was like, okay, I'll write letters. That's got to be easier. So I wrote some letters, a bit like this. Well, you can't really see it, but it's like stupidly long. It's like 5 pages of writing and stuff. Yeah, so I wrote those, and I was like, that'll be easier. I'll just, give them a letter. I'll stay there because I don't want to be like mean and stuff. But yeah. Then I proceeded to walk around with the letter in my pocket for 3 days. Which anyway, so finally, after all that, I thought, cool cup. Yeah, it's like the most cool teacup in the world. Anyway, I thought, alright, I'm never going to do this unless I actually have to. So I sent an email to my mum's work email address, just saying that I wanted to talk to her about some stuff, and I kept checking in it. But yeah, that I had stuff that I wanted to talk to her about. I didn't say what it was. Yeah, I got an email back from her saying she'd also been meaning to talk to me, but been checking it. So that was all cool. She came back, sat down. I wanted to kind of tell both her and my dad at the same time, but he was coming in late that night, and like one side sent that email, I kind of needed to say something, or it would have just been awkward. So yeah, I decided to just give her the letter and sit there while she read it. So I did. And I mean, her response was kind of positive, kind of not. She asked some questions that weren't like ones I'd expect. Well, she kind of read it and she was like, yeah, I can kind of see it's coming a bit. But the one thing that confuses me is you don't have that many masculine interests. Like I don't play football or watch football or lift weights or whatever masculine interests are meant to be. Well, when she said that, I'm just like, yeah, but does my brother? And she'd be like, well, yeah, all right. And then I kind of rambled a bit about how masculine interests and feminine interests were stereotypes and blah blah, like I tend to do. I tend to ramble when I'm feeling nervous about things. Anyway, so then she said, okay, yeah, she kind of accepted my point about masculine interests and feminine interests. But she was like, oh, you have more female friends. Which, I don't know, about half and half. I said that. She was like, but you live with all females, like three females. But then I lived with 3 guys last year, and I pretty much see it's exactly the same. So yeah, we're kind of discussing those things, and she was kind of like, yeah, sort of talked about some things I felt like that, and she sort of agreed that probably going to gender counselling and stuff would be a good idea. She just doesn't want me to move too quickly on anything, or and I mean I didn't come to her saying I didn't say, oh, I'm trans, I want to be a guy right away. Partly because I want to take the time. I mean, I think that's probably the case, but I want to take the time to make to be sure. So I want to go down the road of counselling first anyway, and partly because I think giving them the time was good as well. So yeah, we discussed it. She was a bit worried. She was like, oh yeah, because she's only really seen kind of trans people in these silly documentaries they sometimes watch. And she was like, well, none of them seem like they have sort of like jobs or relationships or anything normal. They're kind of like cut out of society. I showed her some videos. One of like Skylark 11 and his mum. They did like a Q&A thing. And also one recently, like Lucas, like Twin Fools on YouTube did. It was like a kind of intro he did for like a K Straight Alliance or something. So I showed her both of those. And she was like, yeah, they seem pretty sorted. And I told her that people do have lives. And it's all cool. So we discussed that. Yeah, so I kind of thought she kind of taken it all on board. Obviously, it's not ideal. But she kind of understands I need to look further into things and try and figure out where I'm at. And she, said whatever happens, I have her complete support, which is good. But yeah, I thought going away from that, it's not something I'd said in my letter that I'd been considering asking like people to try out a more kind of gender neutral name and maybe male pronouns, like to see how that felt, because that is something I'd really like to do because it's starting to get weird. But I'd also said, I didn't expect them to do that because, it's like a massive thing, and I understood if they, it took them a while. Sorry for taking tea breaks, but tea is needed. More the way than one. Anyway. Yeah. So I mentioned that in the letter, and I was surprised. Like the next morning, well, I ended up. I've not told my dad yet. He's all stressed out about stuff, so we're gonna wait. Anyway, yeah. Next morning, I get a text message, and it's like, good morning. Da da da. It's from my mom. And she's like, oh, what'd you think about the name Nye? And she was like, kind of short for your birth name, but also like after kind of like Nye Bevan, who, if you don't know who he is, he was like, he was a Labour politician in the 1960s, and he was one of the people that kind of were instrumental in setting up the National Health Service. So yeah, cool dude. And she was like, yeah, that'd be a cool person to be named after. And yeah, it kind of took me back, but I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting her to be thinking about that sort of thing. Not 100% on whether I like the name or not. I think it's pretty good. It'd be good because it's so close to like the name that people know me by now, which is Naomi. I feel I can say that because that's what most people call me. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, it would make it easier for people because I mean, if they made a mistake, they just have to stop in the middle of the name, and they'd be cool. Then maybe that would make it harder to use like male pronouns. I don't know. Other thing is, it's actually like I looked up Bevan, and it wasn't actually his full name. It's like a Nurin or something. It's like a Welsh name. I've never been that cool on people having like nicknames as real names. I don't know. So yeah. if you have opinions, you can tell me things. Do I look like an eye? I'd thought of maybe Nicholas or Nick before. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's really cool. She sent me out a text. It's very nice, very nice. So yeah, it means now I can kind of phone up Sandyford and try and set up a little counselling session, which will be cool. In other news, I went to a David Bowie tribute act last night. Yeah, my David Bowie t-shirt, which you can't really see. But anyway, because I'm like, it's my birthday's coming up, and I'm like a massive David Bowie fan. I pretty much worship David Bowie. He's the best. And my parents know this, and so they were like, "Oh, it's a secret thing we're gonna do for your birthday. We're gonna go through to Glasgow, blah 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 blah." Yeah, so it turned out it was a David Bowie tribute act, which was interesting. It was cool to like, you know, hear all the songs being played live, which I probably will never get to do because David Bowie doesn't really play gigs anymore, which was awesome. But at the same time, it was kind of like greatest hits, which, you know, even that's like fucking awesome. But the guy that not played David Bowie, but like sang and was David Bowie. It was like a kind of incredibly camp version of David Bowie, kind of like Julian Clary playing David Bowie, and he kind of put on the voice that David Bowie impersonators tend to do that isn't. Here I am, David Bowie. But yeah, it was a bit silly. But I had kind of like going into there, I had kind of one of these moments. I kind of like, yay! Oh no. Because as we walked in, my mum was first with the tickets, and my brother like was walking after us. And my brother's 20, but he looks like 12. He's like the same height as me. So like 5'3". And yeah, so he always gets ID'd, so he gets stopped for ID. And yeah, he showed it. Like him and my mum and my dad sort of continued on a bit before me. I don't know why I was hanging back. I was anyway. And then I went to follow them, and the guy at the door stopped me, and he was like, "Hey, what about you, young fellow?" And I was kind of like, for a moment, I was like, "Yes, success." And then I realised I had to show my ID, so I had to show it, and picture of like long hair and, you know, yeah. And he was kind of like, "Oh, that's all right." And I sort of went and continued in. Oh, it amused me. It generally does in these situations, but yeah, cool, nice to pass for a moment before the illusion is shattered. It's all good. But anyway, it's been my life for the last few days. Cheery byes.